Let's take a look and see how to do our green material building cost computation. So we know that often green building materials cost more to install or use when we're just building with them. But there are other costs that end up sometimes making it worthwhile, even on a cost basis, not just on climate, environmental sustainability issues, which we just may have to pay for some of those to keep our planet green. But often costs come as installed costs. In other words, what does it cost to buy that stuff and put it in the building to begin with? But then there are some energy savings sometimes due to that material. And sometimes there are maintenance savings. Not often. Many green building products cost more to maintain than standard products. But somehow we come up maybe with a net cost difference. And it could be that the green building just costs more over the life of the building. And that's just the price we pay for sustainability and keeping our environment healthy. It's not always the cheapest one that counts. But these numbers all need to be identified and computed and found out so that you know what you're doing when you're building. So that's what this is all about. So let's take a look at maybe one of them. We'll take a look at one of these because they're all sort of the same. Okay, so we're maybe interested in a percent increase in costs for using green materials. And that would be the green cost of the material divided by the standard cost of the material times 100. And to get that cost, we often have estimates that tell us cost per square feet. So if we know the cost per square feet of a material times the square feet, that's the cost. So here's a sample one over here. Let me zoom in on this so that you can see it. See how to do this. Okay, and I'm going to put it into slideshow mode. It's a little bit easier to see. So if we have a green material that's rammed earth wall system, and typically right now that costs about $15 per square foot of building area. So if I have a certain size building of 1,000 square feet, I'd multiply that by 15 to get the cost. Standard wood frame only costs about $10 per square feet. Okay, so I've got these two costs per square feet. It's the same home, 1,000 square feet. Let's figure out what it is. So the green cost is the cost per square feet, 15, times the home square feet, 1,000. That's 15 times 1,000. It's 15,000. It's going to cost me $15,000 to build this house with rammed earth wall systems. And I think we've found rammed earth is one of those very, very green material constructions for a home. And the standard cost is, again, cost per square foot, 10, times 1,000 square feet of the home. It's 10 times 1,000. That's $10,000. $10,000 versus $15,000 to build standard. So now we do our percent increase. And this helps us because then if we have a 1,500 square foot home, it's easier to figure out. We can just do the percent. But let's get the percent increase. 15,000, that's the green, divided by 10,000, that's the standard, times 100 is my percent. So 1.5 times 100, that's 150% increase. So what you're going to do as you go through here are just read what each of these are and fill in the blanks. And it's easiest to fill in the whole blank. So I can take that one. That's a 17.5 times 1800. I can even copy and paste. 17 point, well, that didn't come out so good. And now I need to get my little calculator out. 17.5 times 1,800, $31,500. Okay, and then my standard, in this case, I have my estimate, and it's $11 per square feet. And notice I'm getting rid of all that blank. $11 times 1,800 again. I got to get my calculator out. 11 times 1,800, 19,800. Pretty significant cost difference. So now my percent increase. Okay, so that's going to be my, come on down here, green divided by standard, 31,500 divided by 19,000. And now you see why I write everything down like this. These are not things I can just do in my head. And it's not obvious when you get down to the bottom how you have gotten it. So somebody could check my work, and it does need to get checked. I make computation mistakes, and it's great to be able to go back and check them. 31,500 divided by 19,800 is 1.59. And I don't care how you round this. Okay, so now I need to multiply that by 100. 159%. Okay, oops. So that's how we go about doing these computations. The very last one, though, is a little different. Okay, these are all just, they're different. This one's about energy, but you can see it follows the same plan. This one is, again, about rammed earth home costs. And this one is about, this one is about maintenance. How much it costs over 30 years. But it follows the same pattern. This one does not. So to get my final computation, the net cost difference, and I have to pick a time period, 30 years, because my maintenance costs cover 30 years. So I know I've got a construction cost of $18,000, energy costs of $23,000 over 30 years, and $1,900. Okay, maintenance. And for a regular one, it costs less to build, $11,000, but my energy is way higher. And this was $1,900, by the way. My energy costs were $38,000, and my maintenance was $7,000. So this is how you do it. You just add up your construction plus energy plus maintenance. And same for the standard. And then look at the net cost difference. It's standard minus green. Standard minus green. Okay, and if this number is positive, it means standard costs more. So green saves that number. That's how you go through these. You have to look and see what comes first, what comes second, and figure out what that is. Okay, standard is more than green, so I get my number, and that means since standard is more than green, green saves that much money. All right, so there you go. That's a set of computations for green building material costs.